Good morning, dear students. Today we have discussed about Bhoodan movement. The Bhoodan Kramdan movement inspired by Vinoba Bhave brought to the international sense. The Bhoodan movement or land gift movement was a voluntary land reform movement in India, started by Acharya Vinoba Bhave in 1951 at Pochampalli village in Telangana state. Background: Vinoba Bhave, a humble spiritual leader, the first non-violent resistor to the Britishers and reformer of independent India, started this. Their mission was to persuade wealthy landowners to willingly give a small share of their land to the landless people. He traveled across all of India to convince the wealthy landowners or landlords to share a small area of their land with their poor and downtrodden neighbors with the conditions that they can't sell the land. Over a span of 20 years, a total of 4 million acres of land was shared across the country through this movement. Objectives: the movement may be looked at as a concrete manifestation of the application of the universal principles of love, truth, and non-violence to India's practical problems. The ideological basis of the movement is the philosophy which asserts that whatever people have is a trust and should be held and used as such, whether it is land or any other kind of property, or whether it be knowledge, skill, or experience. It is a trust that people hold for their fellow human beings and for the whole community. It is not meant for their personal enjoyment alone. Everyone has a share in it. It is by propagating this philosophy of love and truth and by persuading people to regard themselves and live as one family that Vinoba has aimed at bringing about a non-violent agrarian revolution. The movement thus arose by the surrender of part of a person's land, but in course of time partial sharing developed into total sharing. The Bhoodan movement thus aims to prepare the groundwork for an agrarian economy wherein land ceases to be a marketable commodity and where the individual works to attain the good of the entire community. This is just one step towards the realization of real democracy or Swaraj by setting right the inverted structure of economic centralization through practices based on the principles of time and non-violence, and also the decentralization of political and economic power. Advantages: it is bold step towards solving the problems of landless laborers in very peaceful manner. It helps in bringing more land under blow. Even uncultivable land is cultivated. It helps in the direction of tax burden. It helps in reducing exploitation of the poor cultivators by the rich zamindars. Disadvantages: the fundamental weakness of Bhoodan movement was that its appeal was directed not to the poor and landless, but to the rich and landlords. So the voluntary donations of lands were not the generous offerings of the rich. In many states, the landlords donated lands to escape from the sealing laws. They have no free will. Another weakness is that the depressed people and the exploited section of the society have already exhausted patience. They are in no mood to indefinitely wait for the positive results of the movement. Okay, thank you, dear students.